Hey guys, Coaching for the Soul, Thursdays at 3 is back. Back. Yes, lots to talk about today. We'll see who finds us. We've been gone for about 4 months, I think. So, we'll see what happens. 4 months, me taking care of myself. So, we'll see who pops on. It's a snowy, cold day in Detroit. Well, not cold, it's about 45. But it's gonna get rainy and gross and stuff like that. So I believe I'm on Clairvoyant. Let me see if I am, just to make sure. Yep, I'm on it. So cool. We'll see who pops on. There's 3 people. Hey, Robin, what's going on? How are you? Robin showing up. And there's Nancy. Hi, Nance. How's it going? Merry Christmas. Yep. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Hi, Dorothy. I'm glad to see you guys too, for sure. A lot to talk about. Hey, Sherry. How are you, my friend?
Not too shabby. Thanks for asking.
Hey, Kristen. How's it going? Good. Yeah, so it's gonna be kind of rainy this afternoon and tonight and stuff like that. So, it's winter in Detroit, This is the first warm weather we've had in months, so it's kind of nice. Yes. Thank you. Hi, Angel. Yeah, there's lots of cool stuff to talk about. A lot of stuff has happened. It's gonna talk about some cool stuff. Spirit was like, we were gonna start it the first week of January, after New Year's. And Spirit was like, last week, he's like, no, we need to talk. We got stuff to tell people. Like, I know. Yeah. So, so it's all good. It's all good. So, we'll wait a couple minutes more just to see who else pops on so they don't miss anything. So everything's good. I hope everybody else is doing fine. It's going to be Christmas in, 8 days? Which is kind of weird. It came really fast. First of the year is going to be magnificent. So, Yes. Hey, Beth. How's it going? Hey, Sue. I know, right? We're back forever. So they say anyway, right? So, yes. So, we're going to start out with, what are we going to start out with? Let me see. Yes, new moon's tomorrow, Sherry, in Sagittarius, and it is definitely significant. It is clearing the way for 2026, okay? It is a moon that is grounded in fire, okay? And what does fire do? It burns everything away. And so that's the best thing that's happening right now it's very powerful, right? Because in a week we go into Capricorn, okay? On the 22nd, the first day of winter. 21st, sometimes that varies. I believe it's the 21st of the month. We go into Capricorn. And that lasts until the 19th of January. So we've only got like a 4-week kind of thing, which always disappoints me because Capricorn season is pretty cool because I'm a Capricorn Aquarius. The blessing with this one is that in Capricorn season and Aquarius season, it is just before the first Mercury retrograde in Pisces. And that's going to be a ball burner, okay? There are planets that love being in Pisces, and they've gone back into Pisces. And my palms are itching. And so it's going to explode a lot of stuff positively, okay? So so the new moon's a big thing. Getting ready before the next Mercury retrograde, which is, like I said, is in Pisces. And Neptune is Neptune is out of retrograde. Neptune stays in a sign for 14 years. Okay? And and for where Neptune is located in the galaxy, it's surprising it only is 14 years, but because it moves really fast through the universe. So in every single zodiac sign, the others do not. Like Uranus and Pluto. Pluto takes 328 years to go through the whole zodiac because it's so far out. But Neptune moving forward is an awesome blessing. Hey, Michelle. That's because it goes back into Aries. Okay, it's in Pisces, but it goes back into Aries and is in Aries for 14 years. And it loves being in Aries because it dries itself out. Aries is brand new fire. And so Neptune is mist and fog. And again, that's why people have been feeling for the last 6 months foggy in their head and things like that. Okay, so once that goes into Aries, I believe it is in sometime, because it has to make up all that 6 months worth of time. So I would say probably June or July, maybe May, June, July. We'll be back to being just this one massive energetic ball of transformation. Hey, Kathy. Yes. And Barb, yes. Yes. I just talk to him they don't have to pay me. I'll just talk to him. Yes. So that's the important astrology, other than all the planets that were retrograde are now forward. Okay? So the blessing in that is the fact that our 2026 is going to be absolutely freaking amazing. That's where you've been feeling like crap for the last 6 months, if not the year. Okay? 2025 is a 9-year in numerology. What does that mean? That everything comes to a head. Everything culminates together. Okay? And it gets washed away. 2026, the first day of the month, is a 1 year. It is a 1 year out of 9. Okay? Now, if you look back at the last 9 years, it's been a cluster F. Big time. Big time. I mean, think about just the political aspect of it, right? It's been a mess. So the blessing with this is, hey, Bonnie. And so the blessing with this is that we start out fresh and things are going to change. I will guarantee you that things will change government-wise in 2026, where people are removed from office by the military. Okay? That's going to happen. That's going to happen. All right? So, like Spirit has said for years, since 2019, I think, hey, baby, we're going to see things we've never seen before in our country. We're going to. Okay? A military coup is going to happen. All right? In 2026, beginning of 27. Okay? And we're going to be all for it. Now, there will be martial law. The government will put in martial law. All right? Because I have to. Because of the other side. Okay? You know I'm blue. Hello, with the sweatshirt. So understanding that things are going to change and there probably will not be elections in 26. It will not happen. Be suspended till 2028. Hi, Lisa. Daisy, get upstairs. Come on. Come upstairs. You're not allowed to be downstairs by the door. She chews the linoleum off the floor as she scratches. Yeah. She's kind of a wreck. Especially today, she's nuts. But anyway, so there's going to be lots and lots of changes. There's going to be changes in the Supreme Court. There is going to be justices that are taken away, just like the cabinet, and there will be a person put in place who was shown to me about 4 or 5 weeks ago, who has been a former president before, and as Spirit said to me in the meditation, that hey Shelley, that he's the only one that's not corrupt. And he's not white. So if that gives you the Heads up on that. He will be installed until the election of 2028. Okay, martial law will not last those entire 3 years. It will be short term. They will claw all the money back. Okay, all the money that's been stolen. Yes, Nancy, exactly. They will claw all the money back. But they will have a full cabinet on the day that they swipe up everybody and take them to an airplane hangar where it's not known where it's going to be. It'll be surrounded by troops. Spirit and I have talked about in past programs that the orange one will be, this would be before 2024, in a place by himself, no cell phone, and surrounded by the army. That will happen to the airplane hangar, okay? No cell phones, no anything. They will be stripped of everything. Hi, Diane. Thank you. I appreciate that. So a lot of trauma will happen from this, but also a lot of clarity will come from this. This is when you're going to see people who are now have a bad taste in their mouth about who they voted for are awoken and come back to the center, okay? And the corruption will start to crumble, okay? We've talked about in the past too about how the rich are going to lose their money. Telling you, in readings this week and last week, okay, is that it's going to be a clown show as either they try to get away, but the government claws their money back for all of the corruption that has happened with all of the corporations who have been favored. And it will go from instead of top down, bottom up. And that's going to be by 2028, 2029. Okay? That will all be put in place before the next election of 2028. Okay? So understand that we've never seen that before. I'll be 66 in 2.5 weeks. When he said it in 2019, I'm like, that's going to be something that's going to be kind of unusual. And then it didn't happen because it needed to get, hey, Kristen, it needed to get to where the orange one won in 2024 for it really to be all encapsulating and it being just this corruption, just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. So understanding those types of things, okay? Now, so it's going to be a massive shift. It's going to be a massive change. That is 2026 to 2030 that we've talked about before, okay? Because it's a 1 year in 26. It's a 2 year in 27. It's a 3 year in 28, okay? It's a 4 year in 29. It's a 5 year in 2030. So understanding that the next 9 years are going to be messed up at the beginning for some folks, and then be bountiful and wonderful and absolutely just changing the planet. And remember, Spirit said this in 2000, whenever, I don't know, because I don't remember, I'm such a different person now, that first off, we'll see things we've never seen before. Second of all, how they're going to deal with people. Okay, we thought it was just one person, but now it's a whole gaggle of them, and it'll be the Nuremberg trials like they had for the Nazis. Okay, trust me, it's so funny because I just am amazed at sometimes what I get in meditation or just in readings or whatever. That all of this meant to happen. Number one, number two, America is supposed to lead the world in spiritual sense because we're the youngest country on the planet. We have the largest military and the largest economy on the planet before 2025. Okay? So we will regain that to a point. Will we be different? Yes. And the rest of the world will follow us because America will be back. Hey, Alexis. America will be back in the place that it's supposed to be, but not corrupt. You will also see Congress people, senators, and others commit suicide in 2026, 2027. Okay? Again, there'll be lots of people who go away back to their home planets, back to their home galaxies, because they're not going into 5D. Okay? I know so many people that are on the cusp of 5D. They go up and then they come back down because we're still in the 3D world until 2030 when everything settles down. When everything settles. And that's the blessing, is the fact that we're going to go through this transformational energy shift that is happening now. That's why all of us are like, WTF, chimes, right? We're like, what the heck is going on? I don't get it. Because all of us are in this place, myself, body-wise. You know, again, getting rid of what no longer serves is going through my large and small intestine. We're trying to work on it on, okay, how do we get that to move out faster? Well, I've got some things that have been brought to me, which I just freaking love, right? And it will come for all of us. It will come for all of us. Sorry, guys, I'm gonna turn the heat down so I don't have to listen to that. Okay. Okay. So it'll take a minute for it to shut off. There we go. So that's going to happen also, where the world is going to turn on a positive side. Hey, Stacey, Casey. Hey, Kathy. That is going to, hey, Diane. It's going to be a gradual shift, but those of us that are deeply connected, which is everybody that watches the show, and everybody who's in their spiritual place, right? Of agony and craziness and not being able to think and just kind of being, because you have to just let it happen because that's the transformational part, okay? For us, it's going to be quick. For the muggles and for the newbies, it's going to be slow. For the muggles, they will go, see you later, bye. Hey, Ruth. They will. Okay, either from pandemic, bird flu, taking their lives, whatever. They all have their soul journey, but their soul journey is done. Okay, it culminates after the 9 year. Okay, and so that's all going to happen in a short amount of time, guys. Probably within the year of 2026. Okay, that's what they're telling me anyway. Sometimes they kind of get a jump on things because they think it happens faster than it actually does. But as the planet shifts in energy from 2020, from third dimension to 5, everything's going to move faster. Okay, and there's going to be people that are going to be disillusioned. That's why Spirit says, "Hey, Chrissy, and happy birthday! It's coming up soon for us, right?" And so those people that no longer serve you, okay, you will move out of their energy. Move out of their energy. It might be the first time that you do this, okay? It might be the first time that you have the stamina, the strength to say, if you cannot treat me the way I want to be treated, then you can't be in my life. And I've had lots of those people talk to me about that, okay? That, well, Bill, how do I, because they just drive me crazy now. Of course they do. Because your vibration is higher than theirs, right? It's higher than theirs. And understanding that it's not your job. This is what Spirit told me, right? For me to take the time off. Bill, it's time for you to focus on you instead of giving that energy away to people on the program, on questions, things like that. Because I kind of like, again, I kind of like dwindled down. I still did readings and things. I still have my memberships, right? It was all good. But I just kind of kicked back. Like, what, chill. I was in pain across my, hey, Mary, in my gut, right? So I was not the best company. So it's right, kind of like what the heck. So understanding that as we go into 2026, you're going to have a checklist. Done, done. These are people. Done, 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 done. Could be friends that you've known since childhood. Happened to me again last week. 2 weeks ago. Okay? See you later, bye. Same person. Let him back in for a minute. See ya. No time, no time for that. No time for no communication. No time for any of that. Because I'm not going to accept that anymore. Hey, Darlene, how are you? How's it going? And all of you will feel the same way, right? That, okay, I've been passive long enough, but they really get on my nerve. They really just drive me crazy because they don't shift. They don't change. You have not shifted. You have not changed in 25 years. Yep, there you go. That's my phone. Hello. Yeah. So having all of this change in your personal life and also in your living life, right? Understanding that all of a sudden people are really into getting together and talking about what the fuck, right? Because they don't understand it. And Spirit has warned us about this, guys. He's warned us about this for probably 5 years since the pandemic, okay? That eventually what's going to happen is that when everything breaks apart, right? And they start to rebuild, hey, Audrey, when they start to rebuild, right? As a collective, that people are going to be like, okay, I don't understand what's going on, but I feel something. I feel something. I've been feeling it for a while, like 6 months, a year, whatever. But now I can't sleep. I got a voice in my head. I'm seeing stars. I'm seeing white light around people. I'm seeing auras now, Bill. I can't focus. I'm dreaming all the time. They're being thrown into 5D. Okay? And that's where, as Kristen says, the muggles are super confused. Oh, they're going to be like WTF constantly. They don't understand, right? Because they've been shielded and in that cocoon for so long, as Lee Harris says, the chrysalis, right? And finally, the chrysalis breaks. It's like, okay, butterfly, it's time for you to crawl out, unfurl your wings, and fly. That's all of us. That's all of us. That's all of us. Because what's our job? Our job is to talk to the muggles about what's going on, and we're amazed at what comes out of our mouths because we're channeling from our spirit guides, our guardian angels in the universe. It's automatic. It's happening now with people. Like, Bill, I can't believe what came out of my mouth. I can't believe what I said. Well, yeah. Well, is that channeling? Well, yeah, that's why you don't know what you said. Because it's cool because your ego doesn't get in the way. Ego does not get in the way. And so the way that you learn to break ego, right, is how you get to teach and talk to others about how to. The blessing is we're in 4D by then. Next year. We're going to be in 4D as it collapses, right? As we see things we never thought we'd see in the country. Okay? And that is what is scary for them. Will it scare you? It might. But I will tell you what I tell people, you all the time. It's soul journey. You can't change it. That's why you've been in this journey for the past 5-10 years. Plain and simple. And the ones who did it before have to relearn. Because the 3D psychic, the 3D card reader, the 3D intuitive, the 3D clairvoyant has to wipe all that energy away. But Bill, that's who I am. That's who I am. I was in retail sheets for 35 years. And for me to quit my job in 2014, which I can't believe it's going to be 16 years, or 12 years, I was nothing. I was nobody. My identity was the shoe guy, right? And this is the same thing with the people who are in that energy, in that knowing because now they're shut off and they don't know why. They don't know why they're shut off. They don't know why. Well, Bill, how come I can't do what I did before? Because you're in fourth dimension. All that you did before, all that connection that you had was in 3D. Dense energy. They gave you gifts to teach the collective of muggles, right? Talk to them about their future. Talk about all kinds of different things, which they were starting to be attuned to, but not understanding the full strength of what you were telling them. Okay? Again, I was giving people messages at 10 years old. And right? I mean, therapy stuff. Just stuff to come out of my mouth that would be like, what the hell is that about? Right? And not knowing what it was. I knew that I was exhausted after I talked because I was channeling my spirit guides, my guardian angels. Didn't know it at the time. I just thought I was really smart and I didn't need to study because it just came out of my mouth. See? So understanding that what we've did in the past is no longer viable. It's done. It's done. It was meant for that 3D energy. Truly. And I know people that had great practices back then, right? As I was coming up. And there's a few of them, I would say most, I would say a few, that are like, Bill, I don't get it. I had all this clientele back then. Well, I had all of this, I did psychic fairs and it was always profitable and lots of people were going to the psychic fair and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, guess what? Psychic fairs are done because I can get it on YouTube. Chimes, big chimes. I have to go to a psychic fair and pay somebody $10 to get in and then $30, $40, $50. My price was like $65 a half hour. And I had a line in front of my table because people were waiting to talk to me, which was wonderful for my ego, right? It was great. Oh my gosh. But as I stopped doing psychic fairs, so I was led to do that clientele disappeared everywhere. And psychic fairs started to falter because, again, we don't need a psychic fair every week or a psychic fair once a month. Not in any place in the country because those people can get it for free on YouTube and they're guided to YouTube. They truly are, right? Again, this is something that I talk about to you guys all the time, is that if you have a YouTube feed, which you should have, and a Facebook feed, and a Twitter feed, and a whatever feed, again, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. But for sure, YouTube. Example. My sister, my lovely sister, who's going through awakening, which is wonderful, right? She's trying to have a pair of shoes at the store my nephew used to work at, and her legs got entangled with a man that was walking by. What? Right? How's that happen? And they stopped and they talked and, I'm really sorry too, blah, 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 blah. Well, somehow he told her that he was retired from the post office and he wasn't married, he was divorced or something like that. And my sister kind of shrunk down. Like we were taught to do as kids. Because that was my family, okay? Because we were the kids, we were the kids and my brothers were the boys. So the boys were 5, 6 years older than us, and my mom and my dad. So we were kind of the kids all the time, right? And so we knew what we could do and what we couldn't do, and it was safe to shrink. Trust me, it was safe to shrink. So the beautiful thing about this is, so she goes home, opens up YouTube, and the first thing on her feed is Joe Dispenza talking about shrinking. Hello? Spirit talks about that all the time. If you use your feed to allow them to communicate with you, they'll do it because they're energy. They can manipulate the hell out of anything electronic. Hence why my laptop is open because it holds my iPad up when I'm doing these same things, right? And if I say anything different, it will respond to me. Them. Because they want to be seen. Okay, that's fine. Come through me then. Right? So that's why it's so very important to have those feeds. it's what it is, right? And she listened to what Dr. Joe had to say, and she was like, light bulb moment, light bulb moment, light bulb moment, light bulb. Bill, oh my God, I finally get it. It's the second man that I've had an entanglement with, and I didn't know what to say. That's because you weren't allowed to say anything when we were kids. I'm kind of the same way. As my phone goes off again for confirmation. So that's why I tell people you got to have some type of feed, so they can bring you what you need to know to lead you, because that's their job. Okay, and that is what the Muggles are going to discover when they can't sleep, when they start seeing the auras, when they start getting messages, when they start feeling emotional, right? Start feeling their feelings from this lifetime and past lives, like we already have. Because we have to be available to the collective, right? That's why we came first. You may not like it, but that's the way that it actually is. See? And us being allowed to do those things, because we'll be allowed to do those things. That's why Spirit has said, again, in the past 6-7 years, about the seminars. People being on stage telling their story for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, whatever it is per person, right? Because you're sitting in front of 1,000 people and they all paid $50 to get in. They don't know why they're there, but my girlfriend said I should come to this because guess what? You know, I saw the pamphlet, or I saw it was online or whatever. And you know what? She'd go, hey, you want to go to this? I'm really interested in this. You know what? Yeah, well, go. What the heck? Why not? And the friend sits there and she's boom, enlightened. That's how it works. Just like what it did with us, going to a psychic fair, right? And being like, holy shoot, what is that about? What is that about? That's the way that it's going to work, right? That's how we're going to help the Muggles, not really Muggles, but we'll call them that now because they're not in their space yet, to be enlightened. And you're going to talk to them and teach them, and they're going to love you for it until they move on to somebody else. That's how it works. That's how it works, right? And I love that. It's like when I was a supervisor in shoe stores. I loved when people became managers. That's why you worked for me. So I could teach you the proper way of making yourself some dough and not working your butt off. That's the benefit of being a Capricorn, right? I'm going to find the easiest way to make me some cash, good cash, so that I can have what I want. That's 3D. It's 3D. In the future, January the 1st, 2026, what you want will materialize. Hey, Erica, it'll materialize. It's already in the pipeline. Understanding that for the past 3 years, all right, maybe 4, everything that you've wanted has been choked off at the exit. Because we have to have the ending of 2025. As we go into 2026, first 3 months are going to be... Now, is it different for other people? Exactly. You're going to have abundance that is widespread and, oh my God, Bill, it's so much I don't know what to do with it, right? And that can be friendships, jobs, money. Your ancient money's coming, guys. It's coming by 2030, okay? So don't expect it, but believe it. Because if you live in expectation, your ego's going to take that thing. It's going to freaking just drag you down into the freaking mud saying, no, we're not going there. No, we got to stay here because it's not going to be able to find us. No, it's going to come to you as you illuminate yourself and you rise into 5D and you are this person that people notice because you got to be seen. And when you are in a place psychologically, in Muggleville, right? Where, oh no, Bill, I'm okay. I'm not really that person. Oh, you will be. Because they've got you in the space of transformation for a reason. You're going to have 300 million muggles in the country that have to be helped. And there's going to be millions of us, right? Again, the people who have been in this the longest, the people who are the older souls, the cardinal signs for sure, okay? That is Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn are the oldest souls on the planet. They will ascend to be almost ascended masters, a level below. And there's all types of levels, right? Because there's all types of levels of humans on the planet that are going through their journey. Everybody can't be a cardinal sign. Can't be, right? That's not why you came to the planet. But others are, for a reason. Because we're good overseers of the collective. The ones that people can communicate with. The ones that people connect to. That's what is happening. See? That's what is happening. And it's only going to get stronger when 300 million Americans are like, WTF. The other 35 million will, like we've said before, will leave the planet within the next 5 to 7 years. Go back to their home planets. They're not going into 5D. Their contract on the planet is done. Their soul journey is completed. Their soul energy is done. They've done all they're supposed to do on this planet. They chose to reincarnate themselves on the planet over 12,000 years ago to start the new journey of starting out dumb, digging out grubs with a stick in Africa in the rainforest, and to populate the planet. See? So as that happens, they're never going to tell us how it's going to happen. Okay? I mean, we lost 1 million people in a year to COVID in the country. 1 million people in 12 months. That's a lot. But we got to get clear on 30 million people. Okay? Is that going to be 30 years? No. It's not. There will be more people taking their lives because they don't see a future, right? And understanding this, guys, that when people take their lives, they are suspended from knowing 99% of the time, okay? They're not meant to feel it. They're meant to exit the energy on the planet, okay? So it's okay to feel sorrow. It's okay to feel bad, but you'll understand it as you take your journey into 5D because it's expected that's going to happen to people. Suicide is third dimensional. I've come to the end of my lifetimes, especially now. I mean, when I was born in 1960, it wasn't like that. They still had 65 years to get to this point. See? You can reincarnate on those 65 years and be a light worker when you weren't before. See? So understanding that when you get into 5D, all of this makes sense. It all makes sense because you understand that the collective has shrunken because they were at the end of their soul journey on Earth. Now, will everybody be gone? In fact, no. The others that struggle, right? Because their soul journey is at the end of their lifetime, 70s to 95, right? So not that far away for me. I'm 4 years away from 70, in me and Kathy both, in the next 3 weeks. But I know that the people who are deeply connected, as much as you want to say you're connected, because some people don't want to acknowledge it, they have not been called yet to keep in that vibration and change their lives, but they will, you know, and understanding that what your body's going through is transformation. Because Spirit has talked about that for years. How a lot of people are going to lose weight because they're going to change what they eat. Because they can no longer sustain themselves on what they've eaten in the past. Plain and simple. The supermarkets will shrink because a lot of the stuff that you're not supposed to eat, which is 65, 70% of it, that's all junk, is going to disappear as people stop buying it. Just like in the pandemic. How many things disappeared from the shelves if they did not bring it back? It's about profit. It's about profit. The blessing is that when everything shifts forward and all those corporations and things struggle because they need to make the same thing, they believe they need to make the same thing and put it on the market because that's just their culture, or everything's about profit. Well, that profit's going to go away because the profit's going to be taken from them, okay, and distributed amongst the masses in the country. They'll have it around the world, okay? Remember, Spirit said years ago, all of the dictators will be gone by 2030. Okay? Except China. Well, we're seeing that happen now. It's only going to intensify, Spirit says, by 2030, where they're going to just poof, because their journey's done. And that's usually by removal, by assassination, by dying. Okay. The Berlin Wall again, where the wall comes down and freedom goes across the border, vice versa, okay? Because of when the Soviets took half of Berlin, Germany, after World War II, and we allowed that to happen for peace, see? Because they wanted a piece of the pie, after millions of their soldiers died because they were ignorant. And again, just to have peace, that's what they did to pacify. We no longer pacify, see? So as we go into 2026, 27, 28, it's really going to be magnificent how everything shifts towards us, okay? Everything shifts to the better. And you're going to have people around you that freak out, like they did in the pandemic, okay? That, oh my gosh, the store's half empty, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Because I just saw where there's a person that has $4 billion worth of Pepsi stock. Okay? Pepsi owns Frito-Lay. And then it owns Taco Bell and KFC and Pizza Hut. This investor is now making the company, for the betterment of him and the profit, to cut things in 2026. Cut snacks, cut flavors, cut, again, 25% of what we have now will be gone next year. They'll no longer make. Okay? Because you need a selling schedule that makes them more profit. You have a narrower selection. People buy more because the other things are gone. Third dimensional thinking. See? When people stop buying it because it no longer serves them, it no longer tastes good, right? Again, like everything on the planet is going to switch. Everything on the planet is going to change. Spirit has also talked about it in the past. Drink your freaking spring water. Drink your water that brings you the energy that you need to live. Because as the energy shifts, you're going to drink a lot more water. Less pop, less coffee, less tea, less cocktails, all of that. It's going to shift, see? And again, we all know how hard it is to give something up, right? I do. The past 5 years, I've given up 90% of my food because my stomach I cannot digest it properly, see? And so I get it, but they keep showing me and making me feel for 4.5 months, 5 months that okay, so I've changed it to the point where, okay, I can't change it anymore. So we're going to do some essential oils, and we're going to do some healing on my stomach, and the blessing about that is, right? So I had some procedures done last Wednesday, and my friend Pat took me to Beaumont Hospital here in Detroit, or in Metro Detroit, and he was there for like 4 hours because it was colonoscopy, stuff like that, and I'm fine. You know, there's things that are wrong that because of stress and because of, right? I mean, 2025 has not been a calm year for anybody, and your nervous system and things like that. So after that, last week, opened up my YouTube feed and my reels on Facebook. Everything is about balancing your nervous system out of freaking nowhere. Nowhere. And how to do these exercises where you're allowing your energy to lift out of your body as you exercise. Not lifting weights, not running. This is choreographed jumping up and down 300 times or 100 times to start out, right? Just bouncing, right? And then moving your arms like you're swimming backwards. All kinds of things. And I post them all on my Bill Clairvoyant page simply because I want to go back and look at them because I will never remember. Hey, Allison, I will never remember any of that because I'm suspension most of the time. But I understand when they bring me stuff that is like, Bill, they don't even say anything. I'm like, well, hell, wow. I better save that. Does that make sense? Better save that. Better save that. By putting it online so that I can go back and look at it, right? Because it's always going to be in my feed. Because sometimes if I save it, sometimes I put them in the wrong folders because I'm not that guy. And I'm looking for something and I can barely find it. I get frustrated and I say, okay, forget that stuff. I'm not going to do it. But I've also said to them, couldn't you have brought me this instead of 65, almost 66? Couldn't you have brought me this in my 40s or my 30s? I would have had a freaking better life learning how to calm my nervous system. That's the next chapter in Ascension, everybody. Calming that part of the vagus nerve. Never knew about that. I asked people, oh yeah, Bill, I know about it. How do you know about it and I don't? Because I wasn't supposed to know it till now. Right? Vagus nerve comes from your brain to your belly. It's like a tree. The roots are in your stomach and it expands and it comes up here, right? And it's you. Yeah. Who knew? But isn't it interesting how they bring you what you need at the time you need it? Get a feed, everybody. Get a feed. Be on there at least once a day. At least once a day. You know, if you're talking aloud to your spirit guides, which you better be doing, so they know what the heck to bring you. They can't read your mind. They cannot read your mind. People can say, oh, Bill, I just think about it and, okay, well, does it work? Well, they don't really bring me anything. I need them to tell me. And I love the people who say, Bill, I need them to tell me in a sentence. They're like, you're freaking 3D 100%. We can't get this message to you. Hell, they don't even give me messages in a conversation. It's a sentence, right? Again, can I do it for other people? All day long. Can I do it for the show? Every week at Thursday at 3 o'clock. But can I sit on my couch and have a conversation? No. Because they're like, no. We know human. Human will take that information and either give it to everybody or take it, manipulate it, and make it and make it to fit your ego fantasy. Because it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So for muggles, half-bloods, whatever you want to call them, right? The people who are starting to ascend. Because everybody's different, right? Everybody is different. There's no one-stop shop. Every human being is here in a different capacity. And so that's why Spirit has always said about about going to study for stuff, you know, if you're not going to use it for your job, and it works for you because you're called to do it, it's already been downloaded into your DNA. You came that way. See? It's just a fact of giving yourself something to do so that you can Ego makes you think, well, I can get it faster. Not true. If you laid on your couch all day, it's going to come the same amount of time as it comes if you go to class every week or you do something all week long on the computer or whatever it is. See? So that's from them, right? Because every time I wanted to do something, they're like, Bill, no, don't worry about that, Bill. Don't worry about that. They don't want to get me focused on anything else. Because if we focus on something else, we don't see the messages, we don't feel the messages, we don't receive the messages that we're supposed to receive. Because we're focused on something else like we are in 3D. We still live in 3D, and that's the big thing. Living in 3D is a difficult thing when you are going through your ascension because your energy no longer fits like an autistic child. Once the energy lifts into 5D, autistic children and adults will be geniuses because 3D energy is too freaking heavy for their system, their connection. See? Just like us. Who are you going to be in a year? Well, I know who I've become in 2 years, in this year, in 3 years, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, for sure. See? All with the intention of moving forward and being, just being, meaning be quiet, just chill, right? But that's so hard for people because we've been taught through 12,000 years or more, if we don't do something, we're going to die. Ego. I got to get a job because the money that I've got not going to last me that long. Well, how do you know that? How do you know that's not going to get supplemented by the government? $1,000 a month on top of whatever you're doing because the rich people are paying for it. That's coming. All of the things that we have been taught are going to disappear within a very short amount of time about how we've lived our lives for 12,000 years or more. See? So as we are excited yet kind of in fear because we don't know what it is, we have to believe from them that they've got you. They've got you. I'm living in the same apartment I've lived in for 16 years. I've had a lot of transformation in those 16 years. Quit my job 12 years ago, got out of a relationship after 8 years, 2 years ago, soon to be 3 in January of 2026. I'm still living in the same place. Am I a different guy? 100%. Right? But I still have the same apartment, the same stuff, a great car, same car, right? Been good. I don't need, I don't want. I just be. And that's the key. That's the key, is understanding that they're not going to take anything away from you. It's you that takes it away from you. Because you think, that's the problem, you think that if I don't do this, 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 and this, I'm going to die. That's ego. That's ego. And this internalized ego, guys, it's not just present ego. It is internalized. This is survival. This is survival. I have to have a job. I have to do this. I have to do that. When I left my job 12 years ago, I got a big payout. 401k, pension, the whole thing. They gave me the whole thing at the same time. Over $200,000. Okay? And that was gone in a year and a half. Can you imagine that? Now, I would never spend over $200,000 in a year. Because I don't need anything. That's the difference between third dimensional energy and fifth dimensional energy. Because 3D is, I've got this money, I'm going to make more. Because I've always made more. No. It's a brand new career, it's a brand new everything, right? The things that you knew since childhood are gone. It wasn't a downward slope, it was pretty good. Because we don't remember the strife that we had. We don't remember what we released in that time. See? It's going to happen to everybody. It does. Do we still have to have jobs? Most people do. Right? I had Lee for 8 years, and again, the last few years, he paid the rent, he bought the groceries, I paid the incidentals, I paid the other bills, the utilities and stuff like that. Because, again, it wasn't about my business, it was about me. It was torture. But I knew that I needed to go through that to become this man. See? So it is, and everybody's journey is different, guys. Okay? Mine are just examples of was it hard? I felt it was at the time. Now, not so much. You know, I've learned how to just chill, how to be. And I get that because there was a person that I talked to 2 years ago, probably 2 years ago, that called me out of the blue. It was them. And this guy who wanted a reading from me. And he'd been to Maui 14 times or 15 times, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I walked over, blah, blah, blah. Well, I was doing a reading for him, and he turned it around on me. I told you guys about this in the program back then. And he was like, your energy's not going to fit on Maui will kick you off the island, 100%. Because you're not in aloha energy. And I'm like, what do you mean? Well, now I understand. I'm just chilling. It's good. Life is good. If I want excitement, which I really don't, because the world out there with the muggles is crazy, their energy is really bad, I just do everything that I need to do to live. Not survive, I live. Daisy takes care of that, how I live, right? So understanding that I rebuked that person then. What do you mean I'm not? Of course I am. They're going to send me blah, 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 blah. 2 years later, being single, it's going to be 3 years, different guy. Totally different guy. It's them. And I follow along and allow them to take me where they want to take me. Do I get PO'd? Not really a lot anymore. You know, again, my nervous system can't take it. And now I'm focusing on that exact thing, is toning down, again, balancing my nervous system. Because there's always a challenge to get to the next level. Again, being the Capricorn Aquarius that I am, I'm like, couldn't you have told me this? It would have been much easier. Like, no, Bill, no. Now's the time because you're getting ready to go. We're getting you ready to go, Bill. There's a system to this. There's plans. There's soul journey, Bill. Which is true. Spirit speaks about soul journey all the time to people, right? But sometimes we forget we have a journey too. Yeah. Because I'm all about trust and surrendering 100%, right? Because I don't know shit compared to them. They know everything. Everything. They know the time, the place, how it's going to happen, the people that are going to come into your life, the people that don't come into your life, all that types of things. People come into your life for a reason until they come into your life to love you. In 3D, it's to challenge you. It is to challenge the way that you've been taught. It's to challenge you the way that you were brought up in lifetimes before. It won't happen like that in the future. I tell women this all the time. Few guys, mostly women. When you raise your vibration to where he's at, he's looking for you. He just ain't going to reach down and pull you up. You have to match his energy. Right place, right time. And when you meet that person, there's no confusion at all. It's a lock. It's a key and a lock. Trust me, it's a key and a lock. They say that all the time to people because it's true. We don't have our third dimensional baggage. We don't have our conflicts. We've let all that stuff go because it doesn't serve us any longer. It's harder to carry it and oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, why am I so, oh my God. Stop. Let that shit go. Again, by telling yourself out loud, Bill, that's not who we are anymore, Bill. Because sometimes ego can slide in without you knowing ego slid in. You start feeling sorry for yourself. Or how come I'm not getting what I want as fast as I want it? And how come? Ego's like, yeah, baby, I still got you. I still got you 100%. No, you don't. Because, Bill, that's not who we are anymore. Bill, stop. I say that, Bill, stop. Bill, stop. Because I can obsess about things. Stop. Doesn't serve you any longer, Bill. Just stop. And guess what happens? It goes away. Just like that. You just have to tell myself. Can't wait for other people to tell you. Got gotta be sovereign. That came out of nowhere. Gotta be sovereign. You do. Because all the collective has to be sovereign beings so we can help each other without an agenda. Without an agenda. Yeah, see? So, that was the fast hour. So, I'm going to give now the advertisements come. Readings are on sale, $85 for 30 minutes, $115 for an hour. That's through the holiday. Gift certificates, good all year. When you buy a gift certificate now, you get a 15-minute reading for every gift certificate that you buy. Okay? I have one person who every year she buys 4. So she can get an hour for free. And you can get it at the sale price. You just have to go through me instead of going through the website. Okay? Memberships are kicking frickin' butt. If you want a group of people, if you want a group of people who are ingenious, who are learning every day, who have grown so much in a year's time, year and a half's time, 2 years' time. I've seen people that are in there 5 years and, oh my freaking God, just in a short amount of time, they've grown exponentially. Come visit us in the memberships, the Coaching for the Soul memberships. They're all 10% off at the moment until the end of the year. And it is, I'm telling you what, we had our Zoom call, our once a month Zoom meetup last night. There was only 6 of us, 7 of us counting me, because of the holiday. It was freaking magnificent. I mean, that hour went really fast. It went really fast. It ended up being like an hour and a half, like almost an hour and a half. But it's awesome. It is just amazing how these people, under the energy of them and myself, right? I mean, that's what it is, are just clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking and are no longer victims. They're no longer, again, that's they're in this energy of knowing somebody is there to talk to them, me, then it's unlimited questions, right? And people use it, which I love, because that means that they're trying to figure out, trying to understand what their journey is. Are they going to tell you what your purpose is? No, not their job. You have to find your purpose in that. So you got to find it. They'll show it to you. They'll bring you everything that you freaking need as long as you're open to it. And that's what the memberships bring. Okay? From 15 minutes a month, I have some people that do 15 minutes, it's never going to be 15 minutes, it's going to be a half an hour at least, because they ain't going to stop talking, right? From 15 minutes to an hour and a half every single month. billhobart.com for everything. Check it out, because you're going to be surprised in 2026 when you need something as a continual basis. Be like, what about those memberships? What are those memberships that build? They're not that expensive at all. I mean, I think the hour and a half, the $1,000 package, which you can pay in 2 installments, it's $53 an hour and a half. $53 for an hour and a half. What? Yeah. It's like, people are like, but you got to raise the price. No, I don't. I don't have to. It's not about the money. It's truly not. It's never been about the money. And Allison did upgrade this year. And it's a blessing, because I get to talk to her for not a half an hour anymore, because she bought 15 minutes. I'm going to talk to her from 45 minutes to an hour, because, again, not because she upgraded, but because they have more things to say to her, because she's on her journey big time in the memberships. Lacey too. Lacey's been here for 6 months, probably 6 months or so. And again, yeah, it's just amazing. Just amazing, guys. So if you're interested in that, if you want to have some guidance, I think somebody put that they need to have somebody who's going to hold them accountable. Yeah. They do that. They do that for me every day. Bill, stop. Bill, chill. Stop. Bill, stop. Bill, stop. Yeah. So billhobart.com for everything. I will see you next Thursday. It's Christmas Eve. Still going to do the show. If you're not going to be around, it'll be on YouTube. This will be on YouTube in probably 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. YouTube at Bill Hobart. That's the first one since I've been back. But we'll have one again on New Year's Eve. And we'll have one, I think my birthday's a Thursday too. So we have one on my birthday. What the heck, right? I ain't doing nothing. And Daisy's got a grooming appointment that day. So maybe, yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good. It'll be good. It'll be good. Next Thursday is Christmas, Lise. I thought it was Friday.